Ready?
Yes, good to go.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Tourism Committee, City of Thorold. I'm going to let Sydney, are you going to read the land acknowledgement? Would you like to start with that?
Sure. So the city of Thorold is situated on treaty land. The land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Durrong and the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The city of Thorold stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship on the lands in which we live.
Thank you, Sydney. I'm just 1 second. Eve Salter, unfortunately, had to step back from our committee. I believe she stepped back from other committees too. I was mentioned, somebody told me that today, so I hope she's well. And I appreciate her efforts. Unfortunately, we could have really used her. She's got an extensive tourism background with the Ministry of Tourism, etc. So that's a loss for us as a committee and as a city. So thanks to Eve for her efforts. And unfortunately, she will not be able to be with us. Do we have any declarations of interest today? Anyone? Not at this moment. I see Tessa's out there. I'm seeing I don't know who the 905-834. Can anybody tell me who that might be? I'm seeing an extra person there. I'm not sure if they're on our committee or just seeing that one there. But anyways,
that's probably Nella. It's probably Nella from work.
I gotcha. Awesome. Anybody? Okay, we'll go back to declarations of interest. Anyone have anything they'd like to put up there? We're good for that now. Okay, we want to adopt our agenda from the last round. You guys, anybody can be a mover on that for me and adopt our agenda. Marcia's going to put a mover, and can I get a seconder? George or Mary Maid? Thank you, George. Okay, can I call the question? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? No. All right, we got that moved. Correspondence, we got under the agenda, Bridget opening. Thank you, Sydney. Go ahead.
Sorry, we just need to adopt the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we're adopting those minutes. I'm sorry. We did call it a question when we will adopt those minutes.
So I believe we did the adoption of the agenda. Now we just need to do adoption of minutes.
Of this minutes, I got you. Okay, so we're going to get a mover on the adoption of the minutes, please. Thank you. Mary Claire is there, and Marcia will second that for us. And all those in favor? Thank you, Sydney. Okay, we're going on to the correspondence there. So we're going to talk about Bridget, which is open. I see. Who was talking on that? Anybody like to talk on that? Ken, do you have any news on that, or does somebody have? Please, Ken, thank you.
Yeah, so this was just a piece of correspondence to let the Tourism Advisory Committee know that Bridget is now operational. The start of spring hours started on May 6th, 7th, 13th, and 14th, and then June, July, and August it'll be operating every day from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then fall hours for September and October will be every day from 9 a.m. to dusk. So again, that is a highly used piece of infrastructure for cycling tourism to cross the canal.
Do we have numbers on that? I'm just curious how that goes. It's an amazing system too. I love it, but
I do not have numbers. However, I can follow up with, I believe it is Community Services, which delivers that service. I can follow up with that department to see if that is something that has been tracked in the past or if they plan on tracking this summer.
Do they get any advertising dollars at all, Ken? Like, does it promoted anywhere? Do they have a pamphlet themselves?
I believe there are some paper pamphlets at the Lock 7 Viewing Center. It is promoted online on our website. In terms of an advertising budget, however, none that I'm familiar with, just what you would see on our social media channels and our website.
Okay. Well, I don't know if anybody else has been on it, but I've been on it a few times and it's super cool. And awesome opportunity to actually be on the canal. So I know some people want to be on that. So anyways, it's great. And I'm glad it's open again. And I'm glad glad our city takes care of that. And Port Robinson really is lucky to have it too. So it's really nice to have that happen. Moving on, and any discussion more on Bridget? Anybody else? Okay, we shall move on to committee business then. We did go for a tour today. Ken, Marcia, and I were there with Terry Lynn Woodhouse and a couple people from the Heritage Committee too, Joe and Anna O'Hara. So it was good to go through it. Good to see it. I've been to it before. Ken and I went for a basement tour even, so we've seen some of the stuff that's there and the potential that is of that there. So yeah, it was kind of cool, and it will be opening soon. Ken, you want to talk on the hirees, etc., please?
Yeah, absolutely. So the intent is to have the Lock 7 viewing complex open as of Saturday, May 20th, so next weekend. We are doing the onboarding of our summer staff next week, and by we, I mean Tessa. We'll be taking care of that. We have hired officially one tourism information services supervisor who will be working full-time, 37.5 hours a week throughout the operational season. And I will let Tessa correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that we also have upwards of 5 customer service ambassadors that will be working part-time to also staff that Lock 7. That's also a pool of staff where there are some that are dedicated to the Lock 7 viewing center, but also some that will be part of a larger pool to be shared with other staff departments that also need customer service ambassadors. So the expectation is the center will be open 7 days a week, 9 to 5, I believe, with 2 staff members present pretty much all the time.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a really cool spot. If you haven't, obviously most of us have been there before, but very proud to have that ability to us. There is some brush issues there that are going to be ongoing. I'm assuming we'll take care of some of it, but on the other side of the fence, I guess it's just not able for us to access that. So I don't know if anybody else, Ken, wants to talk on that at all. Like sometimes the view could be obstructed there, that's for sure. But I noticed down further, I walked it multiple times, but I walked it between the meetings, and I did look what George was talking of, the brush and stuff that was protruding. Seems back from the actual viewing center. They've done quite a bit of chopping up. So I'm just hoping they keep moving. I don't know how you would keep them moving or who we would tell to do that or beg to do that. But go ahead, Sydney.
Through you, Mr. Chair, that was brought up at the Parks, Trails, and Recreations Committee last week, I believe it was, and they made a motion for council, which will go to council on May 30th to direct staff to look into that.
Okay. We would, so we're good with that, or should we put a motion also to that, or would that be something useful for us, Ken?
Again, as always, I'll let Cindy correct me if I'm wrong, but I think us making a motion would be redundant, and it's also an issue that clearly falls within the purview of another committee. So it's best to let them handle the matter. Perfect
by me. I agree. If you think so, I'm good with that. I just didn't know if it meant to force the issue anymore or not. But so if it's going to get talked on, I love it, because that would be a great thing. 7, Ken, you did mention when we were there, possibility of maybe putting it out to hopefully have somebody have a little cafe there of some ilk to sell coffee, or dare somebody to do that.
So because this is being live streamed and recorded, I would just like to correct the chair, and that we will be measuring attendance and use of the center this summer. That will inform a potential tourism strategy or use strategy for the Lock 7 viewing center, which, if there is demonstrated need for something like a cafe or just sort of a beverage center, that is something that will be explored at a later date. So not making any promises, no intentions at this point of time, only if there is a perceived demand.
Gotcha. Let's hope. There was a demand there today. There was people around, there's people sitting down, their RV pulled up. They were from New Zealand. So it was kind of an interesting little world that was happening right in front of us. A ship was doing its downward run right in front of us. So And immediately people showed up. People pulled up in cars, RVs, boom, boom. They went to go watch. So it is a tourism destination for sure in Niagara on a Thursday in May, which is impressive as our city, I think. So, and I thought it was awesome. And the people were very kind and intrigued and curious. And Marcia was asking them where they live and stuff. So she may be an ambassador. We'll see. Thank you, Marcia. Okay, today's a light meeting, folks. We have a roundtable opportunity here. If anybody'd like to talk on things, I feel like any more discussion on Lock 7, if anybody wants to, or we can move on to our roundtable. Marcia, could I ask you to talk about on the roundtable, maybe you to start, but I know you did mention something about a dog park today, the dog park. Is there something you could add to our, I know it's not a tourism per se thing, but it could be related to that.
I think that's going to council first. We just sat down with the family that donated the land, and we went through some wants and wishes for the potential of this dog park. I do believe what we have put forth, they are going to draw up, and then it will go to council for them to look at, and I'm sure everyone else will be able to see it. Again, I don't know what is going to be approved and what's not going to be approved, but the potential of the dog park is very real and exciting.
Is the reality that it's a transfer issue that's stalling it at the moment? Is that true, or?
No, there's no stalling. It's just a matter of the proper things, environmental, all that had to be covered first, and then transfers and all that takes time, but it's happy to see it happen faster than I thought it would happen. So we'll just have to wait to see what goes to council first.
Sydney, did you have something to say on that, young lady, or you're good? No? Okay, great. I'm excited too. I think it's a great little help to our city. And I love that Marcia did mention that some of the speeds has been changed around that area already, because I did see that was a quick concern for some people, but I like that. I think it's going to be a great spot. I drive to Niagara Falls to take my dog to a dog park. So it's much better for me to walk my dog to the dog park, and that'll be available for all of us, which would be great in our city. Anything else for the roundtable from you, Marcia?
No, I'm good at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. George, you got anything for the roundtable?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Mary Claire? No, she's good. Anybody else need to talk on the roundtable? I feel like we're coming in the summer and everybody's ready to get going. I feel like you guys have Ken and Tessa and the people have got the moving forward with Lock 7, which I'm excited for. Looking forward to walking by there and sitting down and maybe having a coffee someday. There'll be a unique situation. I'll bring my own to start with, Ken, but we'll go from there. But everybody, thank you so much. Our next meeting will be June 8th. I don't know if we June 8th scheduled, so put that in the books for everyone and we'll have that ready. And we'll see everybody in June. Is everybody okay with this meeting being adjourned? All right. Cheers, everybody. Enjoy your week.